we're all having this conversation every single day, jibber jabber, about what's going to happen to Alphabet, what's going to happen to any of these companies. Are they going to get broken up? Do you, realistically, do you think this is really going to happen in any kind of time frame? I just want to understand it.
I would put the probabilities actually very low that real impactful regulation is rolled out. I think the political will to actually move forward with something like a breakup of the big tech companies just really isn't there. I mean, that's a multi-year process. Whoever would start such an investigation or process wouldn't be able to finish it. So I think that's really where kind of the rubber would hit the road, and you probably just don't have the political will.
What about financial will? And I bring that up because there's been some research coming out and some arguments coming out as of late that maybe if some of these companies did break themselves up, there would be more value to be realized as investments.
I think that's an interesting question. Again, we probably won't get to that point, but certainly for the likes of an Alphabet, the value of YouTube within that's probably north of $100 billion. And the lack of disclosure is probably one of the more frustrating points about the Google narrative for investors. So I think from that standpoint, if we're talking about Amazon, AWS, again, the realization of a split up could be, you could make that argument there's a sum of parts, accretion of value. But again, I don't think we'll get there.
Victor, so my question to you is this. Yeah. There's a perception. People say, oh, Alphabet's a monopoly or Facebook's a monopoly. I'm not sure the public even appreciates it. It technically is not illegal to be a monopoly. That is not actually illegal.
Right.
Creating your monopoly illegally or maintaining your monopoly illegally is illegal. That's a different thing. And so my question is, where do you see, given that you're going to hear, the government's going to be hearing from all sorts of competitors, right? We're going to be saying this, this, and this. Where do you think they're most vulnerable?
Well, listen, the way I look at this whole thing, and I agree largely with everything you said, if I look at Facebook and Google, Alphabet in particular, these are massive ecosystems, very, very strong network effects. It's very, very extremely difficult, in my opinion, to break apart an ecosystem because it'll be extremely disruptive to the user experience, disruptive for users. So I place less stock in this whole antitrust issue as it pertains to
You think
Alphabet
separating Google and YouTube, for example, it would be difficult?
Well, for example, you had, I think, one of the co-founders of Facebook on CNBC about 2 weeks ago saying you should split off Instagram. And I think I've heard others say, split off YouTube. I agree there's a sum of the part argument that could be made there. But Instagram and YouTube are so intertwined with the core platforms of Facebook and Google. What they share, advertising platforms, they share technology. It's very, very difficult to split that apart. And when you do that, and I think the success of YouTube and the success of Instagram has been largely dependent on Facebook, the parent companies, and them driving users to this platform.
So, Kevin, there are some potential downstream effects of regulation, though, and I think you guys talk about the App Store in particular, that if there's pressure on Apple and others to lower the fees they charge, some companies could stand to benefit. Match in particular. Why Match?
Definitely. So if we think through who are the biggest payers of App Store fees, you have two things, really. You have the mobile gaming companies, and you have Tinder. 50% of Match revenue flows through the App Store, and you're paying 30% of that, back to the either Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. So from that standpoint, the analysis we've done suggests, there's meaningful upside to the financials for the likes of a Match Group if those take rates do come down.